All right, guys. So this is your favorite deck roasting series where we take a look at your guys' deck lists and roast them. Ready? So we got EPA in the chat. Of course, goated community member of the METAGAMESGX community. EPA does have his deck list right here, and this is what the deck list looks like for you guys. And let's do a little preamble. Decided not to run a lot of non-engine in the main deck since I believe both Branded and Dracotail can break boards by themselves. That totally is understandable. I'm still glad that you're running Thrust, though, I can see. Decided to run Dark Ruler no more in the back row removal spells on the side to basically have a way to wipe and disable the field. I had a bad time with stun once. Never again. Still trying to figure out the extra, though, but love to use Grand Guignol turn 0 to get Quem and Albaz in rotation. I replaced the second one for Masquerade over Quartus because I'd rather have easy access to a burn tool for these decks that can just easily burn for game. I played VSK9 3 straight in a row and they won because of Borger Burn. Please ban Borger and limit Holy Sue. No, that's facts. I mean, with the time rules, the new time rules fix the Borger issue, though. I agree with the limit Holy Sue. For the ratios, 26 monsters, 26 spells and traps. May move Secretarion Dragon for a second Guignol. I mean, as you guys saw from the stream, though, like, Secretarion Dragon comes up a lot. So, alright, so Abaz Party with the Dracotails of New York City. We got 52 cards with 3 Albaz, 3 Aluber, 3 Cartesia, 1 Quem. I'm already a bit sus on the 1 Quem, but if you are only on 1 Guignol, it's totally fine. And then 1 Kit, 1 Mercurier, 1 Shrouded. How do you like the 1 Shrouded? I've actually been back and forth on the 1 Shrouded or not. Like, Shrouded is not, like, it doesn't need to be a 3 of, it's just a very good 3 of, right? Or it's a very well-rounded 3 of. It's like, it does a lot. So, Sarnir at 2, plus the Lubellion with no Magnemut. Maybe I'd try out a Magnemut, possibly. It's something I want to run in my build, and I just don't have the space. Then we have 3 Fuelos with 1 Branded Fusion, 1 Branded in red, 1 Branded in white. I already love this list. And then 3 Branded opening, 3 Branded in High Spirits, plus the 3 deployment, 3 Ketu Dracotail. See, Ketu Dracotail is also just like a straight-up board breaker, right? So, that's just like the thing. I gotta put this over here. So, like, Ketu is something, like, I've heard some people want a side or something, and it's just, like, I don't know, I'd rather just have it in the main deck. Like, it's better than, like, some other non-engine for your deck, right? And then you have the 3 Thrust, 1 Lost, 1 Talents, 1 Retribution, 1 Duplication plus the Flame. Honestly, this is, like, one of the best, like, 50-card lists I've seen. Really, I think you could go down to 2 Cartesia, though, to get to 51 very easily. I don't think you need 3 Cartesia in any instance, honestly, anymore. And you do have the 2 Malulu, too, plus the 1 Lucius, plus the 3 Phimina, which I like. I think that's a pretty solid rotation. You could always try out 2 Aluber and then 3 Lucius, too. For, like, better plays off your Phimina. Because as you guys saw, just, like, turn 0 Altharion, so broken. And then for the extra deck, 1 Sanctifier, 2 Mirror Jade, and then 2 Albion, plus the 1 Lubellion. The Searing Dragon, of course, gotta get those Fusion Dragons, and the 2 Mirror Jade, plus the 2 Altharion for the grind game. I do love that. I think those are cards that generally should be 2 ofs. It's just like with Mirror Jade, it's so easy to cut to 1 in this build, since, like, you don't go into 2 a lot of the time, but in a grind game, I'm sure that would come up. 1 Titanclad, 1 Runbrum, 1 Guignol, which he said he might cut a Secretarion for, which personally, I'd just cut the Masquerade inside it for the time. Like, I don't think Masquerade needs to be there game 1, right? You aren't going to get time game 1. Then for the side deck Lancia, for all of the Malice people. Do you have Malice in your community? And then 3 Fuelos, 1 Ido, and then 3 Perulia, 3 Dark Ruler, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Farpy's... yeah, not Farpy's the Feather Duster, 1 D-Barrier, and then 1 Dracotail Horn. And yeah, no, I mean, I have 0 issues with this list. This is like a very tight list. I'd just say the Masquerade and the main is a bit of an eyesore, and you could also maybe cut 1 Mirror Jade. I think the Secretarion, it's just starting to bear out to be a staple, in my opinion. I don't know. That card is just like, there's no other cards that do that same thing in that slot, in my opinion. But I do like the Brandon White, too. You could always consider a Guardian Chimera somewhere in here, but the Ido on the side is totally fine, in my opinion. I would just say that your turn 1 boards might be a bit awkward when you don't see Dracotail cards, so, like... But you do have the 3 High Spirits, which I think helps a lot. I think that might be my issue with my build, is, like, not... If I'm not maining Ido, I need to main 3 High Spirit. because then it just makes my turn 0 board, or my going first boards really good. Then we have Miku from Fortnite, aka GZ1K in the house with their branded Dracotail. Branded Dracotail 60 card pile with hand traps. You'll love to see it because, of course. Also, what's up, Bahaha? Yo, Metagamer, I ordered my Dracotail cards a week ago, and now the plan is to run a smaller branded with a bigger part Dracotail. Totally fair. Are you going to run 60 card, 50 card, or 40 card? So this build is cool. I see the 3 nibs and 3 droll. I have to ask, what makes you want to run the 3 nib? Because in my opinion, nib is one of those hand traps where you kind of need it to be paired with something. I think against Yummy, it's like fine. I think it's against Dracotail, it's not great. I think it's good on their own turn, frankly. Sometimes, depending on the deck. Like against branded, you just save the nib. But this is an interesting build. You do have like the full branded package, 2 cart, 2 quem. I do like that ratio. 3 Albaz plus the 3 Shroud with 3 Aluber, so that means we're probably on a slightly less full Dracotail engine, which we are only on 1 Lucius, 1 Phimina, 1 Malulu. Now, this is like my old build. I actually highly recommend at this point GZ1K to run the 3 Phimina over the Nib, or even Droll at that point. I think Droll does a bit more than Nib to like quote-unquote stop your opponent. I think it's pretty good into K9, all things considered, but I just think Nib is just overall just really awkward without other hand traps. It's just awkward, this format. I haven't been seeing a whole lot of it, frankly, but people are probably still running it. It's just, in our build, I think like we would get a lot more value out of running the 3 Phimina, which is effectively a hand trap on your opponent's turn that gets us still like advantage, right? Whether it's making Altharion or Mirror Jade or even a Chaos Star Source. Well time can be pretty good on your opponent's turn. And then you are, so I'd take out the 3 Nib maybe for like 2 more Phimina and just like more Dracotail cards, right? And then you could always put the 1 Aluber, or you could do the 3 Lucius, or you could do 3 Aluber plus 1 Lucius. It's always the trade-off. I just think Phimina should be a 3 of. I think Ketu always should be a 3 of, which you do have, so I'm happy with that. You do have the red 3 opening, 3 high spirits. Guys, you guys are outdoing me with the 3 high spirits. I love 3 high spirits, so it's maybe something I should be looking more into. Because that is something, but honestly, the games have been pretty good without it tonight, so it's one of those things like where Shroud and High Spirits are like cuttable, but like overall they make your builds a lot really consistent, especially when you're running like Droll. That's why I'm like, maybe you could even run Valor over Nib for like the Droll aspect or the High Spirits aspect, but I don't know. And then you could like recycle it with Altharion, send off a branded fusion if you already have like Albi or Lubellion in rotation, or like a Goignol, for instance. And then 3 Droplet, I'm fine with that. I mean, you are siding the 3 Super Poly, which is interesting. I haven't been seeing a whole lot of Super Poly this format, but overall, I still think it's, like, very good. I don't think Super Poly is ever bad, so it's like, if you're siding it, I won't blame you. It's just, like, one of our best spells. So then 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Sanctifier, 1 Lubellion, 2 Albion, 1 Titanclad, and then 1 Renbrum plus 2 Guignol plus the 2 Altharion. And then the 1 Gulamel plus the 1 Chaos Star Source, and then the 1 Secretarion plus the Draco Stapelios. Draco Stapelios is something I miss, but when I realized you couldn't make it off of Phimina, I kind of like started liking it a lot less in this build. I'd personally just prefer a Guardian Chimera in that slot, but that's just me. But I don't blame anyone for ever not running this card, because it's sometimes just like one of the only cards that can do something in that slot. I do like the side too with the Shidal package. Raigeki, personally, I would just like the 3 Dark Ruler plus 1 Feather Duster, obviously, but like, you do you. You can maybe even do like a second Super Poly target, or like a second Fusion Dupe, which is just good sides for like your hand traps, but you're not maining the Fuelos, which is interesting. You could do Fuelos over Nib, then run the 3 Phimina over the Droll. That's just personally, but then you're running the METAGAMESGX special, so we can't quite do that. Good list besides that. We got Maxi in the chat. Maxi in the house. How's it going, Maxi? Long-time channel supporter and also just community member. Maxi in the house with the K9 VS, her K9 VS deck. We have the 1 Caesar Valius with the 1 Borger. Do these decks only run 1 Borger? That's kind of interesting. I guess so, because it's a brick. And then 1 Magnamoot, because that is a pretty good card. And you can search the Caesar Valios, right? So. And then 1 or 3 Xiaolong, 1 Azuna. or 3 Azuno plus the 1 Lupus, and then 3 of the Jokal, and then 3 Halisu, the card of the format, frankly. And then 3 Raisin, and then 3 Madlove, 3 Fuelos, 3 Feet Ash Blossom, and then 3 DD Crow, plus the Pop Prosperity into the Rhoda with the 2 1-for-alls, or 1-for-1s, my bad, from the 16-year-old who like won 4 regionals, I guess, in a row or something like that. Just crazy record. Like, good for him. Very good duelist. Like, next Jesse Cotton, frankly. He was running Small World. Why do I call this 1-for-1? Small World. Think of like My Hero Academia. And then 3 Stake Your Soul plus the Field Spell plus the Trap. I mean, guys, it's VSK9. What else is there to say? Where's the Paradise Smashers? Maxi's not toxic. But there should be I mean, this Ojama Knight should be a Paradise Smashers. I'm assuming that's just a troll. Oh, is this a time card? I have no clue what this is. Someone tell me. Eltronos. Brillia with the Solemns. You know, I dig it. And then we have Jambud's VO. I'm very much looking forward to looking at this because shout out to Jambud's VO. Also a longtime community member and just branded player in general. We have their 60 card Shidal branded Dracotail. So this is pretty cool, all things considered. I think like there's a lot going on here, but I think it's not actually that overwhelming. We have the 1 Tragedy, 3 Malulu, 1 Chud Dragon for the 2 Shidal fusion in the deck, which we'll have to talk about. I do think this should be at 1 though if you're only running 2 names. Like, you only run multiple Shidal fusion if you are running like 5 names basically, because then you can like somewhat see them. But oh, you are running the Ariel, so you're like almost there, but I think you should just be running 1 since you do run the App Cologne in the side, which can search the Shidal fusion. But besides that, I think that Shidal Beast and Dragon are probably the best ones to run in this kind of build. But I do think with the access of Urgula, which you are running, Shidal Dragon gets a little worse, but of course you are running the extended Shidal package, so you do have to run some other names. And Nel Shidal also gives you some nice, just a graveyard interruption, which your deck typically doesn't really have. And then 3 Albaz, 3 Aluber, 1 Kit, 1 Mercurier, 2 Cartesia, 2 Quem, 3 Fuhulos, and then 1 Shidal Beast. And then 3 Phymena, which I highly approve of. I do think this card needs to be a 3 of and branded for the most part. I was actually a non-believer on this, and you guys can call me out on this very early. I thought it was kind of a brickier card, but like, I just noticed that Thrust wasn't as real with talents at 1, so it's just like, this card's just so free, basically, unless you're going against a K9 deck, and even then, it's still like pretty good into if they have Azuna, because then you can stop them from getting there. Or I guess if you trigger it, then like whatever, but 2 Shidal fusion, like I said, this should be at 1 because it's searchable. This is the only way you're gonna do that. You don't want to hard open it. I mean, I guess going second's fine, like, right, but you could just side the other 2 at that point. And then you have 1 thrust, or sorry, 3 thrust, but then 1 grass plus 3 deployment plus 1 talents, and then 1 Brandon White. Highly recommend this card in any build with grass, in my opinion. Wow, we got 85 people in the chat. How's it going, guys? 85 of y'all beautiful people. How's it going? How's it going? And then we have 3 Rahu Dracotail plus the 2 Ketu. I'd just recommend this being at 3 over the 1 or the 2 Shidal fusion. That's just like a pure upgrade in my opinion, because this card's just always live where this one is not. And then this is also a board breaker, so it's just a higher quality card than fusion, right? Because it does the same thing as like Shidal fusion, effectively going second. And then 1 branded loss, 3 branded opening, and then 2 branded high spirits, 1 branded in red, 1 duplication, 1 flame, 1 horn, 1 schism, and 1 retribution. So the schism is pretty interesting because you get to go into the, of course, let me zoom in a bit. That's a bit too zoomed in, All right, so we are running the window, right? Plus the app clone, plus the Gulamel, and I do like the 2 Altharion plus the Philia, but this is an interesting package because app clone is used because you can send this off of Grand Guignol, which you are running 2 of, to then, which is also a high spirits target, the Grand Guignol for the Shidals, which is cool. I would also run Construct in this build, so your Tragedy is also just in your Alubers, especially with the 3 Alubers. You might as well make your high spirits better in my opinion, but I think Construct would be a pure upgrade in this build also. I think with the light Dracotail, Construct automatically just gets great. I think Philia Regis could get cut in this build, frankly, for the Construct, and you would have actually a really nice time with Construct. And then 1 Masquerade, 1 Secretarion, 3 Droll, 2 Parolio, 3 Lancia, 1 Feather Dusker, 1 Dark Ruler, 2 Book of Eclipse, and then 1 Evenly. So yeah, overall I do like the list. Alright, so we have RJ Kingpants, Yubel list. I'm not a big Yubel head, but RJ has been the last few months, so let's check out what he's been doing. Do appreciate everyone who's coming through to the stream here even late. I guess we'll have to play another game after this, honestly, with everyone coming through. Maybe we could even go to Master Duel, but like, I just love Dracotail. And we didn't hit any channel members, so we'll save that for the goal if we hit the channel membership. All good either way. Okay, 52 card Yubel, RJ. I think this should be a 45 card build. I mean, I get, like, I've seen 60 card Yubel, but like, you aren't like leaning into it, so like, I don't know. I would go to like 45, but obviously you've played this deck more than me. 3 Nib, 2 Yubel, and then 1 of each of the bricks, plus 1 Shivara, plus 3 Engraver. Shout to Engraver, barely see this card anymore. The card fell off. And then 3 Fulos, 3 Ash, 2 Beckoning, 1 of the Phantasmal Beasts, and then 1 Lurie, plus 3 Droll, and then 2 Gruesome Grave Squirmer, plus Samsara, plus the 1 Tract. I feel like 1 Tract is incorrect. I mean, I guess like Droll, but no. And then 1 for 1 Terra, and then Triple Tactics Talents plus Thrust. I'm surprised Terraforming is still legal. I guess it's banned in Master Duel, and we won't get it banned here, but definitely a good card for banning at one point. And then the rest of the Yubel spells, and then Unchained Trap plus the Fiendsmith Trap and 3 Imperm, and then main deck Cross Out with the 3 Thrusts is interesting, with no real board breakers to thrust off of besides Talents. But I just feel like you might have an issue going second with a 52 card build like this, but or at least seeing your side, which I mean, it's a Yubel extra deck. What else is there to say, right? I mean, you're running the Yabaku, which is cool, but I never see come up in the deck. Then 3 Pankratops, 3 Lancia, 1... Oh, that's cool. The Super Poly with the Loving Defender. I do like that. Alright, Chud Dragon, Yubel deck for this format if I don't pick up another deck. What's the other deck that you would pick up? Then Chud Dragon of the Swamp. Shout out to Chud Dragon of the Swamp, a Discord community dweller. Appreciate you, Chud Dragon. Who are you in the chat, Chud Dragon? Alright, so this is his list. It is 3-star near 1 Albion at 60, which is interesting for consistency-wise when you're running 3 Aluber plus 3 Albaz, so being a little normal summon constrained, but you're also running 3 Lucius, 3 Fimina. I would probably go down to 1 Aluber then. Too many normals at that point. Way too many normals, but you're running the Foolish plus the Gold Sark, which I guess helps. Definitely that consistency, right? And then 1 Urgala plus 1 Malulu plus the Grass, and 2 Quem, 2 Cartesia. I mean, overall, solid package. I just, like, little gripes here and there, and, like, the main deck's very close, like, between, like, the Thrust and the Books and the Fua, so I do appreciate that. I just maybe clean up the normal summons. And then you could, you know, just run more consistency. That doesn't just, like, rely on your normal. Like, you could run 3 Ketu. I think 3 Ketu is mandatory. Then 2 Altharion. Oh, you're running the Trishula, too? We got a Trishula in the house. Trishula I still love. Like, Trishula is so cool that you can bridge pure Dracotail into Branded, which you weren't able to before. Like, still such a cool line that just to know at least, right? To have that in your inventory. And then also it's just good in a grind game or just good way to convert bodies. I don't think it's bad at all. And then 1 Guardian Chimera too, 1 Mirror Jade, 2 Altharion. We've been seeing a lot of 2 Altharion. I think it's like very much mandatory when you run the bigger build for Dracotail. And then he is running the Brandon White, which I think is also mandatory for the grass. It also goes very well with like Guardian Chimera and the Dracotail cards. So, and then for the side, 3 Solemn. Okay, so this is a mistake. You should not be on Solemn Strike in this deck. You should be siding 3 Dragon's Mind, because it's basically better Solemn Strike, and you can set it if you mill it or discard it. So it's just better Solemn Strike. This card should never be in Brandon's deck if you have Dragon's Mind in rotate or like available effectively. And then 3 evenly plus 2 fusion dupe. These should probably be like 2 Dark Ruler and like a Feather Storm, or like 1 evenly. I think you need Dark Ruler. You need some negate, like you need something for the chummy board or the yummy board. Then we have Couss's list. We got King Couss in the house. Gotta zoom out of the list. Alright, so 60 card with 1 Pan, 2 Saronir, 1 Urgula. Pretty similar to a list that we just saw, frankly. 3 Lucius, 3 Fulos, 2 Cart, 2 Quem, 1 Branded in white, plus the 2 deployment. Spicy. That's something I've also considered, where deployment isn't the most important thing, and the 1 Aluber, which I do appreciate, with the 3 Lucius to cut down on the normals, plus the Malulu. 2 Thrust and 2 Book of Eclipse. Yeah, I think that's totally fine, because you're running a lot of non-engine, especially since you're running the Branded Banishment in the main, which I do like too. This is something I want to consider in my build, because it's just so good going first and helps with the grind game and stuff like that. Like, if you can just set this off of Mirror Jade after breaking a board, right, you're just golden. Still solos Mitsurugi, right, which is important right now. And then for the extra 2 Altharion, 2 Mirror Jade. Does 2 Mirror Jade come up for you at all? I have to know. And then 1 Secretarion, you'll love to see it. 2 Albion, 2 Grand Guignol, all the 2 ofs. 1 Chaos Star Source, plus the Lubellion, plus Renbrum, plus the Titanclad, plus the Gulamel. Andy Vargas, branded Dracotail has been crazy. VSK9 has been a struggle. I won 2 matches against Yummy. I would say Yummy is one of the easier matchups. Yeah, I go back and forth, because Herald Yummy is like really good, but I feel like you can bait out their board way easier than K9 VS. K9 VS uninterrupted with like 3 to 4 card combo is just crazy. Like, you probably aren't breaking that board unless you have like Dark Ruler evenly, basically. Or just like a very custom hand, which happens. I think hard drawing Branded Fusion ups your chances for sure. Also, like, getting lost in rotation helps you a lot against that board. So, like, I'm surprised I haven't been seeing more like 3 Branded lost in people's decks, because it's quite good. And then the Shidal package plus Dark Ruler plus the Lightning Storms. I don't love Lightning Storm, I'd prefer like evenly personally. Then 1 D Barrier, 1 Horror, and 2 Fusion Dupe. I kind of forgot about D Barrier. It's pretty solid this format because of detail, but I don't know. They still just play on your turn. They go like Lugia, Search by Mina, Pass, right? And then last but not least, we have the Magic Geek. I haven't updated the side deck for the format, so ignore that, but we're out here with a blast from the past. Also, sorry for the quality. I had to text my list to someone else because they didn't have Discord. Oh my god. I was not honestly, this was not my, like, Magic Geek showing off a Sword Soul, a modern Sword Soul list. That was not on my bingo card, but here we are. Proto, I mean, it's a Sword Soul deck with the new 10U stuff, and you're running the Desires plus the Fulos. I like it. Droplet. No Ash is crazy, but I understand. I feel like Ash probably needs to be in here somewhere, but what do I know? That's a Sword Soul extra deck plus Typhon. They're all worms. And side deck Crow and the Nibiru. Plus Lightning Storm plus 3D Barrier 3 evenly, which I guess the side deck is not real. Finally on the 3 Femina train, LFG, yes, Young Summer. It took me a little bit to get there. I've been on it for like the last week though and a half. Shout out to Nicholas for getting me on that, honestly. Alright, well, that was Roasting Deck List. Thanks for watching that, guys. And I do appreciate everyone checking that out. Leave a like down below. Comment what your favorite deck list was. Of course, I would appreciate it. Leave 100 likes and we'll do another Roasting Deck List in the next month. Of course, we do want to check out everyone's deck lists and, you know, give them a good roasting. And appreciate everyone who submitted their lists. And with that being said, have a good one.